What's up guys, my name is Ace and welcome back to The Breakdown, the series where I analyze gameplay to help you improve. In today's episode, we're going to be looking at a hardpoint gameplay on Instinct from Falkner. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so normally I started off by looking at the class that the person is using in the gameplay. Unfortunately with him, that part was cut off, so we didn't actually get to see the class that he uses, but I can tell you, just off what I've seen in the gameplay, what he has, and I am definitely missing a few things, but he definitely has an AK-12 bleeder. It seems like he has stock and probably grip on it, maybe another attachment, I can't quite tell. For perks, he definitely has blast suppressor. It seems like he has toughness, and he also seems to have fast hands because he switches between his AK-12 and his Mayhem launcher, which is, once again, one of the things that he's using is the Mayhem launcher. So he's switching between the two quite quickly. Aside from that, he has the overclock exo ability, as well as a stun grenade. And for score streaks, he's using UAV, bombing run, and the assault drone. I don't know exactly what the modules are that are on them, but that's generally the class that he's using, and it gives you a little bit of an indication of what he's using at least. Alright, so getting into the gameplay, right off the opening rush, he just rushes straight towards the hardpoint. Absolutely nothing wrong with this. I like that he stuns the hardpoint before pushing on because he knows there's enemies there. And he's waiting for these enemies, and he's using cover to his advantage at the first part, and then he strafed completely out of cover there, and the enemy that killed him there had the height advantage on him. A lot of the times what I like to do when the enemy has the height advantage like that, and especially when I'm up close, is I like to very simply just jump in the air. This basically eliminates the height advantage that they have, because now you're on the same level as them, and they don't have that cover of that height advantage. Plus, you're moving through the air, so that kind of stacks the odds in your favor a little bit. It's not going to work every time, but it does work sometimes. Now, as he spawns back in, I like that he's pushing towards a hardpoint cautiously. He doesn't just throw his body on the hardpoint like a lot of people would do. He's taking his time, and he uses the stock attachment to his advantage in this situation. He takes cover, kills the one enemy, he sees the other enemy, but then he strafes back behind cover before aiming down sight, getting ready for that gunfight, and then strafing back out to challenge that guy. That was a great play on his part. So as he spawns back in again, this is where he makes a big mistake that I see him make quite a bit throughout this video, throughout this gameplay. Essentially, he pushes for the hardpoint again very cautiously, which I like. He's playing safe, but he's also still playing the objective. He is pushing towards the objective. Now right here is just a minor mistake. He didn't notice that he only had one bullet left in his gun, which obviously is a mistake that could very well get you killed. But this is the mistake that he makes. He switches to his Mayhem launcher when he doesn't have proper cover. He's not safe in that particular moment. And even with fast hands, that's not going to work out for you most of the time. If he would have done that in the first place, pulled out his Mayhem launcher and was ready for it and ready for that situation, he might have gotten like a nice triple kill or something on the hardpoint. But he didn't. He had the worst timing to try and pull that Mayhem launcher out. He should have stuck with his gun in that situation. And that's something that I see him do a lot throughout this gameplay, is he pulls out his Mayhem launcher at inappropriate times. Now, the Mayhem launcher can be a great thing to have for hardpoint, but if you're trying to do as well as you possibly can do, I really wouldn't recommend using it too often. And the reason for that is, yes, you might get that great like quad kill where you get a nice quad feed with it and get a ton of kills, but that's very rare. More often than not, if you don't play it right, that Mayhem launcher is going to get you killed rather than getting you kills. And you see this quite a bit throughout this gameplay. I believe he died more times using that Mayhem launcher than he did getting kills with that Mayhem launcher. So I think it got him killed more often than not. I don't know if he was going for challenges or something though, but if you're trying to do as well as you possibly can, I don't really recommend using a Mayhem launcher. So coming up right here, he pushes toward the hardpoint. This is great. He was playing the objective great on that last hardpoint. There wasn't too much to mention, but right here he has control of the hardpoint. And he calls in a UAV, which was kind of bad because it puts his gun away. He's the only one on the hard point. And then right here, his aim was just way off. It happens to the best of us, but that's something you definitely can work on. So if you haven't seen my aiming drill, I highly recommend you go and check that out. Plus, I want to back up to that situation again. And look what he's using for cover. Absolutely nothing. Look at the available cover right in front of him, just a little bit to the right. He could very easily head glitch that piece of cover, and he could have used that to his advantage. He could have strafed in and out of that cover, or he may have been able to actually get a line of sight while head glitching that, and it would have been an easy win in that gunfight. Instead, he stayed out in the open, and that got him killed. Once he spawns back in, I want to point out something that a lot of people do. I see this all the time. He's already got 2 teammates on the hardpoint with him, and 1 teammate even pushed up trying to basically get cutoffs on that one entrance there. Right now, he shouldn't be looking in this direction. There's no reason for him to be looking in this direction. He has 3 teammates covering that direction. Now, if he notices that his teammates start to die over there, then of course you want to be looking there. But right now, he's just being completely redundant. Nobody is watching the back. You should always pay attention, especially in hardpoint when you are all grouped onto the hardpoint. Pay attention to the directions that your teammates are looking. And if nobody's watching one area, it's probably best for you to watch that area, or else you're going to get flanked more often than not. So skipping ahead just a little bit here, I just wanted to point out something that he does very well, and this is the right way to use a launcher in hardpoint, in my opinion. When he pulled out his launcher, he was completely safe. He was surrounded by teammates. It was very unlikely that an enemy was just going to suddenly show up and kill him, so he had plenty of time to pull that out and take his shot. So I just wanted to point out that it's not always a bad idea to use a launcher. There's just a right time and a wrong time to use it. So skipping ahead again, I want to show you one of the instances of a wrong time to use it when you're still safe. So he's completely safe to pull out his launcher and take his shot right here. But where he is right now, it's not likely he's going to get a kill with it, and he could have easily gotten these kills with his gun. Very, very easily. He probably could have gotten at least 2 kills with his gun had he not used his launcher. Now, I do have the feeling that he was trying to go for some launcher challenges, so that's why he did that. But if you're trying to do as well as you can, I would have used your gun in the first place, and I wouldn't have brought the launcher out as your #1 weapon of attack in that situation. So that's going to wrap it up for today's episode of The Breakdown. I know I skipped a bunch of this gameplay, but I basically commented on everything that I really wanted to comment on in this particular gameplay. And as you can see in the final score, he did end up leading his team, but he did get more deaths than kills, which isn't very helpful. And he only did get 4 captures as well. He could have done a little bit better in these areas, in my opinion, but I think he was working on some launcher challenges, and that really held him back in a lot of the cases that we saw in this gameplay. So if you'd like one of your gameplays analyzed for a future episode of The Breakdown, then please feel free to just send me a link to an unlisted YouTube video. Send that to the email address that will be in the description below. Keep in mind, I'm looking for typically non-exceptional gameplay, although I don't mind analyzing the odd sort of exceptional gameplay if there's a lot of things that you're doing right that I can point out. So feel free to send those anyways, and I'll have a look at them. Keep in mind, I'm also looking for at least 720p in quality. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.